In this video, we're going to show you point score. So if you select point score from the main menu, you'll be presented with a list of all the points that have been allocated for this season. In this scenario, we've got season 2012-2013. You can filter the points by capture, or tag and release, or measure and release where required. Or you can search for a particular point score entry by the search criteria. So if I wanted to see all the points for Pascal, I could just start typing the name of the angler and I would be presented with all of his point score. You can edit any entry by selecting the edit button on the right hand side, or you can add an entry just by selecting add. So we're going to go ahead and add an entry. The certificate number, if you don't have a certificate number on your paperwork, then you don't need to enter anything in there. If you just simply click out of the certificate number box, it will generate an automatic one for you, and that will be unique for the system, so there won't be any double ups on certificate numbers. Enter the date that the capture or tag took place. So we'll say in this case we'll go back prior to the end of the season, so we'll go to say April 10, and this will then give us the boats that were current at the time of the tag or capture. So in this case we have 5 boats that were financial at the time, that we'll allocate it to Cod Blimey. And then we allocate what point score categories it comes under. So you can allocate this to one or more point score category, whichever is relevant for this particular set of entries that you're going to put into the sheet. So we're just going to leave it at point score. We're then going to select an angler number or an angler's name. In this case I'm just going to select a number. I'll use angler 23. We're going to allocate it to Janie Thane. And we'll say it was a black marlin tagged on 15 kilo. So we'll put in black marlin, tag and release, 15 kilo line class. Excuse me. 15 kilo line class. And you'll see that it generates the points automatically for you. And depending on what state or what club you're from, these will all be preset in the system. So if your point score for your club is different, then we can allocate that for you if it's not already in place. So we put in a tag number and time hooked, time baited. So we'll say it was hooked at 12 o'clock and baited at 12:25. And you can enter a location, and you can also enter other fields too, which I'll show you in a second. Most of the time, in my experience, most of the clubs just putting a time hook, time baited. Time baited is obviously the crucial one for tag and release for campbacks. So then if we want to, we can just add as many entries as we want within that criteria. Usually you might just put 1 or 2 in, but if you wanted to and you're not worried about certificate numbers, or you don't run with certificate numbers in your club, then you could just keep entering as many entries as you want on the sheet. So we'll go ahead and allocate those points. Okay, there you go. So this is now telling us that this tag has already been used, and it also tells us where and when it was tagged, or used rather, and what species it was used when it was tagged. So in this case, tag number B12345 has already been tagged on a black marlin caught by Cameron Kingsley on the 12th of the 6th, 2013. It's given me the option to override that, but really it's generally, you know, when you allocate a tag, you don't allocate the same one twice, so that could just be a general mistake, or you might want to allocate that because you're sure that was the tag number, so that just gives you the option of doing it. So we'll change that tag number and we'll just make it B912345, and then it allows us to allocate the points. So there's one of many features of the program where it will help prevent data entry errors and things like that. That's how you allocate points.